This is the last of the calls in 2025. We are entering 2026. So that's super exciting. And I want to begin just by saying thank you so much for this year, this journey that we've been on this year, for everyone that has been a part of all of this, the witnessing of each other and of the growth of this community and the growth of ourselves. The space that we've held for one another has been really beautiful. And this morning, as I reflect back on 2025, man, this has been one heck of a year. I don't know how you guys feel about 2025, but it's had its interesting moments, and it continues to. So I'm very much ready to step into 2026, and we'll talk about what that really looks like, at least from the perspective of the course and from myself, of where we're going. And again, just everyone that has tuned in has been a part of this journey. I'm so grateful. And as we are going to continue on chapter 18, it's perfect because today's section is called The Little Willingness. And we'll recap a little bit, but we'll first set an intention. We'll set an intention for what we are going to create here. So you can just take a moment and just presence yourself to here and now. Maybe it's a couple breaths. Just feel where you are, that we've arrived to this moment. All the challenges and all the things that have happened in 2025, we have arrived to right now. And my intention for myself, and as you set an intention for yourself too, is no more battling. No more reaching and searching and pushing and trying to control outcomes and the attachments to results. This is my intention, is I'm letting go of all of that. I'm willing to see it differently, that, these obstacles that I've gone through, the adversity of this year, it was show me my struggles, my actually struggles that were what the course says unnecessary. And today is not about learning more. It's about softening and surrendering into what already has been given, and to recognize and remember who we are and the love that flows inside. May we release and let go of all the armors and survival contracts and the things and the emotions and all of that from this year and before, any moments before now, that they are released gently, and that we give gratitude to all of our teachers and all of the teachings, and that this year we just simply we give our course as the little willingness. We're just willing to let it come. May this 2026 be a year of just effortless abundance, effortless receiving for all of us, effortless connection to God, and for clarity, all of us, for everybody, and any places that may be heavy, any relationships that may be hard, any financial stuff that may be showing off for anybody and for the world, and we just expand beyond that and look beyond that, so that it may be dissolved quickly. And so we remember love, remember ourselves, remember the abundance that's flowing constantly, and the opportunities that are waiting for us right here, right now. Okay, and so that is. All right, let's recap a little bit first. And if you are watching on Facebook as well, hello. If you're watching a replay of this, sending prayers and love from this moment to the future you that's watching this. Much blessings to you as well. We'll recap just a little bit of chapter 18, as I feel like it's been a long time since we've even been on this call. Chapter 18 is called The Passing of the Dream. And it's not about fixing the dream. It's not about shaming the dream. It's not about fighting it. Right? It's really about changing the teacher within the dream. So what is the dream? First of all, the dream is the world that we have created, this world of ego and separation. And I heard somewhere this weekend that spirit and God actually works through the framework of the ego, because it's in the dream world, right? Light doesn't have to fight darkness. However, since darkness is real for us, love and light enters into the dream through the Holy Spirit and through teachers like Jesus and Rama and all the deities that have been represented in all the different traditions of the world that has come to show us how to live, how to be in service, how to love and to care for our brothers and our sisters. All right, so this dream that we are in, this passing of the dream, it's with compassion and gentleness. Do we allow the things that we have buried deeply to come up? All right, so section 1 in chapter 18 is called the substitute reality, and we didn't replace heaven with hell. However, we have replaced heaven, we have replaced truth with our own substitutes, because we've experienced different things and we didn't have the framework or the language to discern what it is that we were going through. So maybe, mom yelled at me or somebody laughed at me, and we create all of these realities for ourselves as a result of not having a framework or language to interpret. So we live in this world of just misinterpretations and assumptions and generalizations, all of this that we carry with us. So it's the good news is that it's just a misinterpretation, right? It's not like it's actually happening, and our piece on the other side is to reinterpret. And since we lived our traumas and we lived those experiences, it's real for us. And when we interpret, we're gonna interpret in alignment to those experiences that we've had and our quote unquote truths that we live by, right? The good news is that you don't have to do it yourself. And what the Course says, what God has created can never be lost. So there will always be this spark, and there will always be people and situations that remind you of who you are. And when we recognize truth, we will call ourselves to it. We are attracted to it because that's who and what we are. So when we recognize passion in somebody, when we recognize truth in somebody, we're like, okay, there's something attractive about that. Something that I'm attracted to. So may this year just be, 2026 be a year that we attract these things, and we attract ourselves, and we call ourselves forward to the light. We don't need to fight the darkness. We don't have to scramble. We don't have to try to make so many things happen. Let's just see if we can be in this surrender of attracting the things that we really want. And what we really want is to remember who we are. So let's just attract people and situations that help us remember who we are, so that it feels good. It feels like it's simple and easy. There's effortlessness that goes into it. So that's my prayer for myself. That's my prayer for the world, for everybody here on this call, is that in 2026, we attract the things that will help us remember who we are. All right. And for any of you guys, just quick drop here. In January 8th to the 10th, if you are not coming to Vegas for our event, I don't know what you're doing, but try to make sure that happens. It is going to be an epic event to open up 2026. All right, so January 8th to the 10th, it's in Las Vegas. legendsbreakthrough.com, or you can text BT to 26786, and you will get a free ticket, only for those that hears this right now, because I'm not posting it anywhere. If you text BT to 26786, you will get a free ticket. Okay, so moving on. Section 2 of chapter 18 is called the basis of the dream. Okay, so basis of the dream. This dream rests on one single idea. The one thing that our dream, our illusion, our dream world lives on is the idea that separation is somehow possible. This all came from the first tiny mad idea. Before there was words, before there was language, before there was this world, there was just love and God and heaven and everything as is. Everything is just in this as is world, right? It just is. And one tiny mad idea came that was like, what if I could be something different than this? And because it could be, and we took it seriously. Anytime that we take anything seriously, we reinforce its reality. Okay, so think about this for a second. If someone makes fun of you, if someone says, oh, you don't sing very good, or you're not a very good teacher, or you're not a very good athlete, you don't do this very well, or you're too loud. Think of it as when you're a kid, when someone says, you're being too much. What happens is that we took that seriously. When we take it seriously, it becomes real. Then we put it into our system and we bury it, and we're like, don't do this. Anything to be safe. 26786, Mikhail. So the basis of the dream was this, like, we took separation seriously. Now, fear was created as a result of being confused. Okay, so fear didn't come first, confusion came first. That confusion was the fall of man was when the child of God forgot to laugh. All right, so you're being too much. Now imagine I had the framework and I knew that I wasn't being too much, and I don't care what you think about it. That's your thing. And I laughed about it. I didn't take it on. Great. So the same idea. Oh, what if I could be something separate than God, than heaven, than each other? And we laughed about it. We're like, oh, that's funny. And that's it, right? But we made it serious. And the moment that we made it serious, the ego was the response to this entire misunderstanding. Because the ego was created on the basis that separation is real. Because once separation is real, we made it serious. Now we have to reinforce that idea. So this is where I wrote, and I talked about in the last couple calls, the survival contracts. The language of peace that I've been writing about is an event happens to us. We didn't have the language or oh my God, I always forget this word. Something with an F. Anyways, we don't have the language for it. We can't discern it. We don't know what's going on. So we make up something. We make up that our safety was compromised. We made up that we were not loved, and you know, all these stories, and how must we respond to this? This is where the nervous system says, you must do this so that you can be safe. Framework. Thank you, Michelle. Oh my God, why do I always forget that word? I keep wanting to say foundations, but yes, framework. We didn't have the framework to understand what's going on with us. When somebody says you are not good enough, or you're being too much, or you know, you don't do this well, stop doing this. Like, we take those things so seriously, and because we didn't have the framework or the understanding of the language, we created a contract. The contract is, ooh, let me be smaller. Let me hide so I don't get picked on. Or let me be even more. Let me be out of control, right? If I'm out of control and I'm intimidating, then people won't pick on me. So it's all about survival. We give up peace and we gain survival. This is the trade-off for our survival contracts that we need. So we don't, and I talk about this, is we don't need punishment, right? This is where we're going to go into this little willingness. We don't need punishment. We don't need to be called out. All we really need to do is to recognize the contract that the nervous system signed and the reactions that come with it. Because when we can recognize it, we're like, wait, that's not an appropriate response to this event, which is not that event, but it just seemed like my safety was compromised, right? And we're not actually being, or our safety is actually not compromised, but because we have that experience of being shut down or made less than or smaller, we feel like safety is being compromised, right? And then we operate from the same reactions. Now, if we can just recognize that and bring the gratitude, hey, thank you for being there for me when I didn't have anyone to stand up for me, and when I didn't have the framework or the language, you came to my rescue, and that worked then. I survived. But you know what? Today, That same reaction and contract, I know more now. I have the framework, I have the language. I don't need to react and respond like that anymore, right? Because anytime that we respond like that, when we trade survival for peace, what we're actually trading is we're giving up everything and we're gaining nothing. This is what the course says. Once you recognize the trade-offs that you've been making, you are giving up peace, which is everything. To be what? To be right, to be in control, to feel safe, right? These things we give up nothing. I mean, we give up everything, peace of mind, and what do we get? We get to be right about something. And our relationships suffer. We miss opportunities that are in front of us. And so all of this requires no punishment. This is what the course and my book is talking about, is we don't need the punishment. And so section 3 goes into the light in the dream. The light enters the dream from within. You know, we don't need to escape this world. We don't have to renounce the world. We don't have to fix anything in this world. We don't have to fix anyone. All we need to do is reinterpret. The way that we interpret is somebody says something to you, a situation happens. I no longer attack or label this person. What I do is I recognize where they were coming from, the same contracts, the same beliefs that they are carrying. I recognize the contract itself. And if I can recognize the contract itself, somebody that's been lying, or somebody that betrayed me, or somebody that says mean things, or somebody, whatever it is, we don't label them as that. We can create the separation between where they're operating from and not. And what we do is, because we give compassion to ourselves, we automatically will give compassion to others as they're going through it. And compassion is the way that really ends and shortens this war, this conflict for ourselves. You know, I was talking to a dear sister, a friend yesterday, and she was like, you know, my dad comes into the house or comes into the room and he starts picking at things in the fridge and this, and then my mom just yells at him like, "What are you doing?" Ugh! And then she, instead of you know, holding like a space, she interrupts right there on the spot and says, "Mom, why are you talking to Dad like that? And this is blah, blah, blah." And what, just that interruption. See, it's a shame and the guilt and the I want to change this outcome right now. All that did was create a little conflict between her and her mom in that moment, and nobody's hearing anything, right? When we attack or shame anything, even though we think this is what we need to do, we need to make somebody feel guilty, feel bad enough so that they may learn. This is the insanity of the ego, is like, if we shame and bad and wrong somebody enough, maybe they will change. No, it's just another layer added on to the defenses. More armor is going to come on. But if we create the safe container in the space, if we be the light in the dream, using forgiveness as the mechanism, using our reinterpretation as the mechanism, then we can bring on peace. We inspire peace. What we teach is what we have learned. And what we are demonstrating becomes contagious. Okay, so we can become peace in the moment. Right? And that's simply just in how we look at different situations. So that's going to bring us to today's section of the little willingness. And I think I'm just going to go into the read to start. But actually, maybe I'll open it up for a second for anyone that may want to share anything from what we've talked about, what anything actually that's on your heart, on your mind.
I'll share a little bit of example of what I lived this past days with 24 relatives and two
Mm-hmm.
cabins, and I had a lot of fun, but I also got into two fights,
Mm.
and just me needing to express what I didn't like, and so you just hit it on the spot. And I'm analyzing, okay, what's my framework? Where did I forget about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, now having to go back. to love and talking to my sister and coming from love and not being right and ego.
Yeah. So it's super interesting. I've been having this conversation with people as well, some people as well. It's like when something happens, right, and we don't like it and we want to change it, we typically just go right at it. So in that same example, she snaps right at her mom to interrupt that, like, basically is like, you're wrong, you need to cut that out, right? In that moment, the butting of the head happens. And it's happened to all of us, right? Like when we don't like something, when we see something, we're just like, we try to snap it right there. And we think it's effective. But really, let's not look at bad and wrong or anything. Let's just talk about the conversation of effectiveness, right? You don't like something that your sister's doing or somebody's doing, and you go, now you have a fight with them over it. Just in terms of effectiveness, was it effective? It's like, no, that was definitely not effective. I lost my piece, then she lost her piece. I don't know if anybody saw anything, right? I don't think anybody's hearing anybody's side, but I think what actually happened is we both reinforced our own survival contracts even deeper. And so anytime that you operate from a place of control and wanting to be right about something, you are always going to be jeopardizing and trading off connection and trust and all of that, right? Because you can be right, right? You can be like, I'm right, and then I'm going to make sure that you know that I'm right. Even if you win that argument or that debate and they just back down, what we really want is the connection with the person, with the love. Want to feel safe with each other, and you lose that at the expense of being right. So again, we're trading everything for nothing in return. We got to be right about it. All right, maybe she learns. No, it's probably not going to happen. If anything, a new layer of disconnection and trauma will happen from there. Now, what can we do is the Course says intention and setting the goal first. Before we even go into it, let me set an intention for myself, because if you don't set an intention, the ego will interpret for you and the ego will act on your behalf every single time. And what is the ego's main mission? Create separation. All right, you may not know it, but it's one form or the other. That's what you're doing, create separation. And we pray, we set an intention. My intention here is to serve unity, to serve connection here, to bring peace into the moment. That's my intention. So going into it, at least peace is running in your mind. Now, you might not, somebody might say something and it triggers you. And what actually is happening is contracts colliding with contracts versus, actual connection there. So it's not anybody's fault, but at least we set an intention going into it. And then we can also frame, right? Hey, I wanted to talk to you about this situation or this thing that happened. Like, are you open for this conversation? I just want to share like my truth and how I felt, and it's not to make you wrong. Like, we frame this, right? Like, bring compassion on the front end. Now, just because I'm sharing this doesn't mean I'm very good at this either. Now, I do catch myself a lot, and I try to, but this requires practice. It's not natural for us to give more space, give more time, set more intention into something, because we want things like now. Things need to be done now. So we set this intention, we set the framework, and we sit down and have a chat with it. Maybe they say yes, maybe they say no, but this is also that infinite patience that the Course talks about as the practice. All right, the practice of I'm not attached to the results. If they say no, I'm going to say no. But if they say no and it triggers your like abandonment, or oh my God, I'm being wronged, or I'm being rejected, and then now you come strong again, like, it's our own work. It's our own work. And so and if they say yes, okay, let me sit down. And now they're in a position that is more softer and ready to receive what you have to say. Now you have two things working for you. You got your compassion, you got your intention for peace, and you got them actually in this place that they might listen a little bit better. And then you can share, right? And then you talk about it. And just know the entire time, am I attached to the result? This is actually a big part of the language of peace is, am I going to be attached to the outcome of this conversation? Can I not be attached to the outcome? right? Now this conversation is going to be a very high level conversation serving peace. Because where we lose our peace, we lose our peace every single time because the outcome is not the way that we want it to be. That's it. So if you can just have one thing is I'm not attached to the outcome, then peace is yours already. All right, so one thing to take away from that. All right, go ahead, Mikhail. I'm going to go into the read after this.
Okay. Do you want me to hold back?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Um, First off, I just want to say thank you. The only reason I wanted to bring this up because it just seems so aligned with what you're saying. You know, the outcomes, the results, and I was gonna make a post in the Salt Lake Breakthrough group, but I'm just like, I just want I just want to bring clarity and just get it off my chest so that I can be free of it, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay. So we all know our brother Cam and his offerings, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I met him at the Breakthrough Conference. I sat next to him and apparently your ex-partner, right? And everybody's like, Cam, 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 like blessing Cam up for his work, all this stuff. And I was like, I reached out to him because I was going through a lot of stuff. And then he reached out, he's like, I'd love to help you, but you need to come up with the money. So I was like, I'm sorry, bro, I don't have $1,000 to give you right now. And then 3 months later, he reaches out to me and offers me some sessions. He goes, hey, I want to help you. And I was like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that. So I signed up for his sessions. We did the sessions, and I did all three for 3 hours. I fully committed my psychology, my whole being, to trusting him and being in vulnerability with him in the most deepest and craziest of intimate ways. And it's all relative to letting go of attachments and breakthrough and the group and everything. And this is very difficult for me to share with you guys because it's hard because we all respect each other and we're all in this together and stuff. And I was just like, hey man, I want to dive into my shit. Like, let's do this. And essentially it ended on a good note. There was a lot of laughter and a lot of things on the third session, but in the second session, I'm sitting there and I'm doing everything I can to follow his instructions and be as submissive and receptive and vulnerable as I possibly can be, in full trust. And in the middle of the second session, he yells and screams at me, God damn it, Mikhail, go into the fear. Like, you want to talk about breaking of trust and like invading someone's psychology when I'm giving my whole being, buddy? I have to get this off my chest. I was going to make a post about it, and I held back because at the end of the sessions, he says to me,
what is the goal of what you are trying to accomplish right here, right now?
I want to bring it to the surface. I want to bring it to the surface because like my trust was broken there, and it freaked me out.
Okay, so is this something that's better to take directly to the source than to blast?
Well, I want to bring it to the source. I'm not blasting. I want to bring it to the source of where it all came from, which is the Breakthrough Group. And I'm not here to create any drama other than just release the energy that happened, came up through it in the space, and then make a to him for his work and stuff, which I love him, and I had a wonderful overall. The experience was golden and beautiful, like even the good, the bad, the uglies and stuff. But it was semi traumatizing to be yelled and screamed at, and to say, God damn it, go into the fear, screamed at in a trance state, and then be asked to be given a shout out, and then his response is, oh, we've all heard enough about Cam's services. After I gave him a shout, which he requested me to give him, then he refers to himself in third person and
So
says,
I would,
"We've all
I
heard
think
enough
it would
about
be
camp services.
better
Let's go now."
if we don't just like, call people out, right? This is better to take to the source
I'm calling
itself.
myself out. I did that. I did that.
Okay.
I tried to do that. I did.
So
That's why I'm
I
bringing it
don't
up.
like to talk about anybody when they are not actually here. So I'd rather us not do that in this moment. And
Okay.
this is not to shut you down and then not validate your experience or anything. But this is probably not the place to do it.
I'm sorry.
Especially in the way that it was done. I don't like talking about people when they're not here is not it's just not what I prefer to be doing here in this space. Like you can refer to things from there's a person, there's this was my experience, that's fine. Yeah, we can always share our experience without talking
What?
about
You know,
somebody directly when they are not
I'm
here.
just I'm trying to share it because it's all relative. I didn't. The only reason I met him was through the group, and there was all this hype about his
But
work and
this is
his
not the
stuff.
group, is it? Though.
I'm sorry. I'm just relating the breakthrough group with Course in Miracles because you were just recommending breakthrough, and so it was all relativity to me, and it was weighing heavy on me, and it just feels like there's a lot of ego involved. Feels like there's a
We
lot of ego
we can
involved,
have a
and it's
conversation about this offline, right? I don't think publicly in front of everybody talking about somebody is what is, this is a boundary on this call. We're not publicly talking about anybody, um,
okay.
like that.
Sorry.
So, no, it's
I'm.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like you're totally
Please forgive.
valid in your
Please forgive.
experience, and we will have a chat about it.
I apologize. I apologize for breaking any boundaries. I just it was
No worries.
relating to breakthrough, and it was relating to Course in Miracles and ego and attachments and expectations with deep inner work.
Yeah. So
And so
the
I
course,
apologize that
no worries, no worries. The course is about
I mean no
your
harm.
reactions, right? You have a reaction to this. You have a
Well,
story. You have an
I ended the
interpretation around it.
call.
Okay, that's fine. But if you feel a trigger, so I was listening
Mhm.
to a Ram
Sorry,
Dass.
bro.
No, no worries. No, don't be sorry. You're good. I was listening to a Ram Dass a podcast yesterday called the yoga of relationships. Okay, and he talks
Mhm.
about if somebody is an asshole to you, right? It's up to you to receive that. It's your work. They can do whatever they want, but how you receive it, that is up to you. People can say, do whatever they want to do, but how you interpret the entire situation, that is entirely up to you. Okay, so the yoga of relationships and the Course of Miracles, it's not about shaming anybody. It's not about being a victim to anything. It's about how I interpreted the world and what I can do to bring peace to myself. If I lost peace, who's it up
Mhm.
to bring the peace back? Because I could, right? In all the infinite possibilities there are in the world, right? And we talked about this. This is the same thing. When the tiny mad idea came, what if I could be something separate than this? And it was like, oh, took it real serious. And then that became real. And it became more and more and more real as all the things show the seriousness of it. Now, if you was there a possibility in all the possibilities in an infinite possibility that you are, that when that happened, you just laughed and you're like, oh, that was pretty funny, right? In all the infinite possibilities that I'm not saying that you should or that, you have the capacity at this moment, but that is a possibility, right? And as we make it, if we don't take it as seriously, this is why the Course says your peace is up to you, right? We throw it away because we're like, oh, I was offended, I was taken advantage of, I was in this state. Those are all interpretations and the meanings we've assigned. So let's separate the two for a second. Okay, this is something called the clearing. A clearing that we do is, what is the event that happened? What is the situation? Okay, words, only the facts. The facts are I was on a call and words were said, and that's it. Okay,
Yep.
that's a
Yelled,
fact.
screamed,
Okay, words were yelled. Now, that's a fact.
God, God's name in vain.
Well, that's an interpretation. Okay, so Now, the second part is the meaning I assign. The meaning I assign is God's name is in vain, and that this is wrong, and I was taking advantage. This is the meaning I've assigned. So let's separate the two things, right? One is the interpretation. One is the fact of what happened. And then the third thing is, what do I get? Okay, when I assign meaning to something, we are meaning-making machines. That means, what do I get for operating from this interpretation? I get something, okay? We don't do things when we don't get something in return. I get to be right about something. I get to be whatever it is. You just figure out what that is. But this is a part that is very hard for us. We're like, I didn't get anything. I got shamed, right? No, we do get something, and this is our honest. Like, if we're honest and we're willing to look, we get to have something, okay, for saying this. We get to be a victim. I get to be right about being smaller. I get to be right about the place I'm in. Whatever it is. Okay, we're getting something. But then what is it costing me? All right, so now we have the fact. We have the interpretation of something. We have the meaning I assign to it. Then we have what we get for it. And then what is it costing me? Okay, we're separating all these things. We're not collapsing the entire event. We're uncollapsing it so that we may be free. This is not about you being right or wrong. This is about your freedom and liberation.
It ended in laughter on the third session. Like, we got to core, ended in laughter, but it was the most intense, and I felt like intense and invasive and disrespectful way to speak to
But it
someone.
didn't end in laugh, did it? Because it's not ending in laughter right now.
The third session, it did. The third session, it did. It was. I was laughing my face off on the third session, but then when he made the post, I think we've all heard enough about Cam's services instead of saying thank you,
Okay,
Mikhail.
so I don't know why you are committed to naming and continuing to
I'm sorry,
share
man.
in the way that I just said we're not going to be doing.
Sorry.
And no, don't be sorry, but just recognize
It's
how
hard.
we
It's hard to
operate.
go. I just bought a ticket to come back out there and stuff, and I'm like putting my whole life on the line to come to this event, and it's going to surface at the event
Great.
one way
Let it
or
surface
another.
in the event, right? That's
Okay.
fine. Let it surface
Okay.
in the event. That's what the breakthrough event is for, is to be able to
Okay.
recognize how we do us. Okay. So I'm just giving you a
Okay.
tool right now about this clearing, right? And
Thank you.
you can take this how you want, but you
I
have to be able
receive.
to look at what is the what do I get for this, right? You get something, okay? We don't do anything. We don't say anything or do anything if we don't get something for
Yes.
it, okay? So there's something that we get. We just have to be honest. This is actually us, and it's beautiful, especially if it's hard, that you can step into like authentic and real with yourself. Maybe for the first time in a while, that I get to look at, what am I getting for playing smaller? What am I getting for being a victim? What am I getting for complaining? Whatever it is, right? And then what is it costing me? It's costing me my happiness. It's costing me my peace. It's costing me my ability to relate. It's costing me, money. Whatever it is costing you, it's costing you all this. So now you can see, yelling happened. I made it mean something. I get this for assigning the meaning, and it's costing me this by assigning this. And then the last part is your best thing, is your declaration into the future. Now that I see what is the new possibility for me, and you declare this, and this will be your declaration moving forward. My declaration moving forward is, I want peace in my life, and I will, whatever the new declaration is going to be, that's going to support your return to peace and return to love, right? Because right now it's not there. And this is, there's a Sufi teaching that says light enters through the wound. The wound is where the light enters. Your place where you are feeling this energy right now is the exact place where you have armor, and that armor is where the trigger is, and that's where the light is. The light enters through that for you, if you're willing, right? But you have to let go of this being right, and let go of the guards that are standing in front of this door that is protecting this contract that has you lose your peace. Okay, so it's about softening. Give yourself the grace, give yourself forgiveness, that you're going through what you're going through. Give yourself all of that. Be super compassionate with yourself, and allow the light to enter in this place. And I just want to say thank you for the courage to share what you're sharing right now.
I'm sorry, brother. I mean no
Listen, there's nothing to
disrespect
be
to anyone.
sorry about. You have brought a great gift to this call, to this space, and all is in divine work, right? It's meant for this call to happen, and it's great now that we can. It's also a great place for us to all learn that we can talk about situations from our experience without having to call somebody out. And again, I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. Okay, I'm just saying this is the new agreement that we will create on these calls. Is we're not going to talk about anybody when they're not here. This is a talk behind their back. That's just not something that is part of what I do and what I want to be doing. And so I want to make sure that we at least agree and follow along with that, right? And
I totally agree. I totally agree, and it was not my intention
it's okay.
to be disrespectful to him like that. It was just it needed to come to the surface for like my individual and collective feeling to be able to move forward in a good way.
Hmm.
And I was moving forward in a good way until I saw what I saw, and it's like, oh, we've all heard enough about this, and this, and it was like there was no humility, there was no humbleness.
Right. Again, so hold
Re-
on. Time out for a
yeah,
second. No
yeah.
humility, no humbleness. What is that?
I don't know. That I was just like, it could have
That
just
is
been like
that
a
is
thing.
that is your interpretation of something, no?
When you talk about yourself in third person instead of just
Yes.
saying thank you.
Yeah.
It's just like thank you, like
Because
thank
can
you.
somebody else interpret that differently than you? Or do you think the
We've all.
entire world sees that and and that's a fact?
I have no idea.
Okay. So this is
I
great
just it
because
just
at Breakthrough, we're
I
going
have
to
no
talk
idea.
about fact and interpretation.
It just really really
we
really
we make our
disturbed me.
perceptions and our interpretations facts when they are not facts. They are not the
Mhm.
truth. Okay, the truth is this is a child of God, a son of God. This is a brother, right?
Yes,
And so
I love him so much.
awesome, great. That's a fact. Now, anything else is an interpretation of it, right? Somebody yelled really loud in a room where everyone's meditating. That's completely disrespectful. The disrespectful is an interpretation. We make something mean something, and we think that's a fact. So when we start to this is what we do at the Breakthrough event. We're going to uncollapse fact and interpretation. This is exactly what the Course says: is if you lose your peace, it's because you have perceived incorrectly. You have interpreted something. So perception and knowledge and truth are not the same thing. This is one of the first chapters of the Course that talks about is perception versus knowledge. Okay? Knowledge is true. It will never change. It is something that is consistent, never changes. Perception can change. Okay? So most, if not almost everything we experience and that we say out of our mouth comes from a place of perception. Okay? So it's just how we perceive things. And that's when we have a shift in perception. That's what the Course says. There's a miracle. Okay, so my prayer for you is that there's a shift in perception for you, right? Like right now, there's guards. You're very guarded, and I'm right about the way that I have it. Nothing wrong with it. This is just we've had a lot of
Well,
traumas.
I see Christine saying, if you lose your peace, you have perceived incorrectly. Boom, I needed to capture that for myself.
Right.
But in that call, the peace was lost, and it was completely lost and completely there. I was at peace in the moment of my healing process, and then there was this yelling and screaming and God, God, God damn it, screaming like scolding, like I was
All
literally.
right,
It
so
was like
we're
literally
gonna
being
go we're gonna
scolded.
pass on this conversation now because now you're just repeating
Okay,
yourself and you're not like regarding anything that I've said up to this point. So we're gonna move
I'm
on from this
sorry, bro.
conversation. No worries, you're good. And sending much love and prayers to your heart in this moment. May you soften and give yourself some grace and love and take the time that you need to return to love and peace. All right. So,
Feels like spiritual bypassing to me.
okay.
To be honest, it feels like spiritual bypassing. Like we're just gonna ignore what came up. We're just gonna completely. May you return to love and peace, and not acknowledge this only came up, dude. Like I was sitting next to your ex. I was sitting next to Cam at my original breakthrough that I drove 12 hours, quit a job to come to. I'm putting all of my energy, all of my blessings, all of my prayers into coming to Vegas, and I feel like I'm being spiritually bypassed by this situation. Like 100%. That's what it feels like. I love you. I respect you. I respect everybody on this call. And I'm bringing this up for a collective healing because it needs to be brought into the light. Like all Cam has got is praise.
All right, brother. Well, you're done.
I'm done. I'm
Yeah,
done.
you're
I'm
done.
done. I'm done.
We're not gonna keep going towards this. I mean, you can see this is no longer about you. This is still. I mean, this is a
No,
constant complaint about it, and we have asked, right? We have asked even in the chat. We have asked nicely that we're not looking to shame and guilt anybody, and keep going, right? And this is, you can call a spiritual bypass, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but a prayer for peace and love to return you to your heart, and then looking at this situation is not spiritual bypassing. Okay, brother? It is for
I
you
am.
to.
I'm totally at peace, and I'm not even angry. There's not an angry bone in my body. I'm literally. I have no anger in my body. I'm just bringing to surface what happened through my experience, believing in A Course in Miracles, believing in you, believing in the breakthrough, believing in Cam, and believing in every single human being that's on this call, and believing in the healing that's possible. And I'm not angry. I'm not out of a peaceful place. I swear to God, I'm missing my church and my meditation group at the Self-Realization Center right now to be here with you. I
Yeah,
have
you
other
seem to be
things.
missing this group as well, Mikhail. You've been seen and heard. Alex is leading a call
I'm
about
sorry.
miracles. So let's just be still and we're going to pray on you and send the Holy Spirit. I want to
Thank you.
acknowledge Alex because you've been incredible.
Okay.
And we all see you and we're holding you. So let's just be still and let the call continue.
Amen.
Thank you. So again, awesome. That was a great experience for all of us, and may that just carry on as a lesson reminding us of love and compassion and kindness, and whatever experiences that we had just in this moment, may that be returned to a place of love and peace, and that we can look within ourselves and how we were feeling around that, right? Because this is the beauty of the lesson, is whatever comes up in the world, we get to look within ourselves how we are responding. So that was a beautiful portal and journey that Mikhail, thank you for bringing us through. And yeah, let's continue this call and see if this chapter here in this section can actually shed some light for us in this whole thing, because for sure none of this is happening by accident. Okay, this is divinely orchestrated, and may we see things differently, and peace returned quickly for all of us, and that we don't hold on to any nonsense. Okay, so let's let all of that go. We wrap it all up in our minds, and we step into the new moment of the here and now. Love is waiting and peace is waiting. All right, so chapter 18, section 4 is called The Little Willingness. Perfect for all of us right now. So the little willingness. The holy instant is the result of your determination to be holy. It is the answer. The desire and the willingness to let it come precede its coming. You prepare your mind for it only to the extent of recognizing that you want it above all else. It is not necessary that you do more. Indeed, it is necessary that you realize that you cannot do more. Do not attempt to give the Holy Spirit what he does not ask, or you will add the ego to him and confuse the two. Okay, so don't confuse Holy Spirit with the ego. He asks but little. It is he who add the greatness and the might. He joins with you to make the holy instant far greater than you can understand. It is your realization that you need do so little that enables him to do so much. Trust not your good intentions. They are not enough. But trust implicitly your willingness, whatever else may enter. Concentrate only on this, and be not disturbed that shadows surround it. That is why you came. If you could come without them, you would not need the holy instant. Come to it not in arrogance, assuming that you must achieve the state its coming brings with it. The miracle of the holy instant lies in your willingness to let it be what it is. And in your willingness for this lies also your acceptance of yourself as you were meant to be. Humility will never ask you to remain content with littleness, but it does require that you do not content with less than greatness that comes not of you. Your difficulty with the holy instant arises from your fixed conviction that you are not worthy of it. And what is this but the determination to be as you would make yourself? God did not create his dwelling place unworthy of him. And if you believe he cannot enter where he wills to be, you must be interfering with his will. You do not need the strength of willingness to come from you, but only from his will. The holy instant does not come from your little willingness alone. It is always the result of your small willingness combined with the unlimited power of God's will. You have been wrong in thinking that it is needful to prepare yourself for him. It is impossible to make arrogant preparations for holiness and not believe that it is up to you to establish the conditions for peace. God has already established them. They do not wait upon your willingness for what they are. Your willingness is needed only to make it possible to teach you what they are. If you maintain you are unworthy of learning this, you are interfering with the lesson by believing that you must make the learner different. You did not make the learner, nor can you make him different. Would you first make a miracle yourself and then expect one to be made for you? You merely ask the question, the answer is given. Seek not to answer, but merely to receive the answer as it is given. In preparing for the holy instant, do not attempt to make yourself holy to be ready to receive it. That is but to confuse your role with God's. All right, so really important here. We don't make ourselves holy so that we can receive it. We don't even need to be good. We need to just have a little bit of willingness. Your holiness is not up to you. God already made that. Okay, so don't confuse your role with God's. Atonement cannot come to those who think they must first atone, but only to those who offer it nothing more than simple willingness to make way for it. Purification is of God alone and therefore for you. Rather than seek to prepare yourself for him, try to think this: I, who am the host of God, am worthy of him. He who established his dwelling place in me created it as he would have it be. It is not needful that I make it ready for him, but only that I do not interfere with his plan to restore to me my own awareness of my readiness, which is eternal. I need add nothing to his plan. But to receive it, I must be willing not to substitute my own in the place of it. All right, so I'm not substituting my own things, right? All this is the perception that we all have is we are substituting. This is the dream, the substitute dream. This happened, I make up this about it, that's reality. No, that is your reality, which is a reality with a lowercase r. But now we are tapping into God's reality with a capital R, where peace and holiness has always been yours. It has never gone anywhere. And that is all. Add more, and you will merely take away the little that is asked. Remember, you made guilt, and that your plan for escape from guilt has been to bring atonement to it and make salvation fearful. And it is only fear that you will add if you prepare yourself for love. The preparation for the holy instant belongs to him who gives it. Release yourself to him whose function is release. Do not assume his function for him. Give him but what he asks, and that you may learn how little is your part and how great is his. Okay, so just real quick, we do not need to ready ourselves to release. That is not our job. The Holy Spirit's job is to do it for us, right? That's his job. Don't confuse your role with his role. Your role is to feel, to experience, to give it over to the one whose role is to release. Your job is the little willingness. That's it. You have a tiny role, is my willingness to see it different, my willingness to give this over to you, untouched, unpurified, purified, like our version of purification, right? We're like, we need to make it purified. We got to purify ourselves and get ready to meet God. And God's like, no, because you have no idea what you're doing. Just give it all over, right? And because that's my role. Your role is I am the servant of love, and I am going in my little willingness to just give my perceptions and all the meanings I've assigned to things over to you, Spirit. Right? That's it. You're still, where am I? It is that the holy instant, it is this that makes the holy instant so easy and so natural. You make it difficult because you insist there must be more that you need to do. Aren't we all so crazy? You find it difficult to accept an idea that you need to give so little to receive so much. And it is hard for you to realize it is not personally insulting that your contribution and the Holy Spirit's are so extremely disproportionate. You're still convinced that your understanding is a powerful contribution to the truth and makes it what it is. Yet we have emphasized that you need understand nothing. Salvation is easy just because it asks nothing of you, nothing you cannot give right now. This is really, really powerful and really beautiful because we seek to understand everything. We got to understand it all before I'm willing to give it over to you, Spirit. The Course is asking us, and in this section, you need not do all that. You just give your little job is just to give it over. Salvation does not need your understanding of the situation. Okay? And this it's really interesting because a lot of people that have conflicts and challenges with the Course, it's like, wait, and just like Mikhail said, it's a interpretation and meaning of it's spiritual bypassing. We have to figure it out first. We need to understand it and figure it out first so that it's worthy for God. And the Course is like, no, you don't even know any of this stuff. Give it over to God and let God reinterpret for you so that love and peace may re-enter your mind, which that's the truth. You are connecting to truth so that you may see clearly. When our mind is all conflicted, that's not the conditions, right? So you just give it over. You think you can make the right conditions? No. All right. This one, one of the things that I hear is like, oh my God, I'm so spiritual. I do all the spiritual practices. Okay, go spend a holiday and the weekend with your whole family and see what happens. Right? Where's all the spiritual practices then? Go do this, go do that. And then now all the stuff comes up. It's like, wait, what happened to all my practices? You don't need all that. You just need to give it over to Spirit and practice. This is your little willingness. This is a very, it's super important. And I think for us moving into 2026, right? Like we've been fighting 2025 and the years before. And up to this point, we've been trying to make things happen. Well, how's that going? How's that going for us? Right? So 2026, let's open up and soften and surrender into the allowing. Here, let me be more free in the way that I just give up the situation, right? Because I deserve peace and I am peace. So let me give it up, okay? Forget not that it has been your decision to make everything that is natural and easy for you impossible. If you make the holy instant If you believe the holy instant is difficult for you, it is because you have become the arbitrator of what is possible and remain unwilling to give place to the one who knows. The whole belief in the orders of difficulty and miracles is centered on this. Everything God wills is not possible, only has already happened. It's not only possible, but has already happened. And that is why the past has gone. It never happened in reality, only in your mind, which thought it did, is its undoing needful. Okay, so again, for what is the order of difficulty? Okay, it just says order of difficulty and miracles. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. This is what the course in the beginning, one of the principles of the miracles is there are no order of difficulty in miracles, as all miracles are maximum extensions of love. There is no small miracle and a big miracle. Just in our own minds, we're like, wait, this is small and this is big, right? I can't give this big thing over to God. I need to figure it out. But this little thing, I don't care. Take it, Spirit, right? So we have this like order of difficulty. And so one of the examples I've used in the past is we're like, what we're willing to give up. It's like gravity would be like our perception, right? If we take a feather and we're like, oh, look at that. It's light. It's easy to give up. Then we take a tank and we're like, oh my God, this is heavy. This is big. Well, when you give it to the Holy Spirit, it's like going out into space and there's no more gravity. The feather weighs the same as the tank. There are no order of difficulty for the Holy Spirit to release you. It doesn't matter how big it is. Now, our judgments and our perception is like gravity, right? We decide what's bigger, what's the feather and what's the tank. I don't know why I'm using the word tank, but I think it fits. It's the biggest thing I can think of right now. Right. So just our little willingness, right? So let's like see if we can just stop for a moment and just be in this for a second. That it's not hard. It's not hard we're asked for so little. The little thing we have to do is just to have a little bit of willingness to say, there must be a different way. There must be a different way to look at this. I'm willing to see this differently. This is the one thing, if you take nothing from this call away here today, is I am willing to see it differently, right? We have our locked in interpretations about things, and they're like facts, and they hold on to us so tight, and we'll go to war over it, and we'll shame and guilt, and we'll attack everybody that gets in the way. Well, the little willingness. All I have to say, my mantra today is I am willing to see this differently. Show me a different way to look at it. This is our only prayer that is necessary for this portion and the invitation of the course, is that I'm willing to see this differently. I'm willing, right? Show it to me. I'm willing. But if you are not willing, the light cannot enter your mind. It will all be dark and messy, and we have no idea what peace is, and we have no idea what love is. And it's just, I need to be right about something, right? So when we have this little willingness, just the words, I am willing to see it differently. It doesn't need to be different, but I am willing. And in that moment, that is the greatest prayer that we can offer to the Holy Spirit. So little. You are given everything. For the little tiny thing for you is just let me be willing. And then all of God's kingdom and heaven returns to you. So, yeah, that was a great chapter, great section. So we have, wow, feels like we still have a bunch of time. So let's open it up. Let's open it up for any thoughts, any questions. You know, what's coming up for everybody here? Lisa, hello.
Hello, everyone. So I was really motivated when you first got on the call to share this poem that I wrote on Christmas Day, that I think is in alignment with where we are, and it kind of shows where I am in my current evolution. It's short, so I'd love to share it. I'm in the birth control. I'm in the birth canal of abundance. I feel it all, the flow,
Right.
pulsing me as I honor my right to receive.
Hmm.
Abundance of health beyond all else. My back is strong. I remember. I surrender to the knowing that I am one with the all. My belief lets me stand tall. I believe that love is all there is. Everything else is a teaching moment. I am grateful for it all, for the obvious love that never makes me question, for the love masked as pain so that I can really see the objects of my avoidance. I cannot ever unsee. I will always remember to love myself with every bite I take. Strong is the one who stands before you now, arms open wide to receive the gifts of life, to serve in the ways that call me forward in abundance, abundance of time and resources. Let the money rain. I won't keep it away. I am open. I can hold it. I trust the abundance running through me will lift me up to the next stage, to the next phase of my journey. Trust ball. That's what's called for in this moment. The flow is just to let go, even when you don't know, to keep the energy in the yeses of life. And when the no's come, I can move along knowing that the next yes is around the corner. I believe. Keep the vibration high, the best outcome. Abundance is our birthright, so here it comes. I don't need to push, just breathe and receive. I feel it in my blood, tingling, waking up every cell. You can tell when you see me. I glow. Now you know. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That was super beautiful.
Thank you.
You're amazing. Okay, who else? That was awesome. As we wrap up this last call for 2025, what else is wanting to be declared and shared onto this last call to wrap up 2025 and welcoming in 2026? Well, yeah, Michelle. Hello, my friend.
Hello, everyone. Happy holidays. I think for me, one of my intentions is to, in 2026, to actually keep my commitments to me. I'm someone who is very much a person of my word. So when I give my word to someone, I do everything to make sure that I keep it. And I don't reflect that back to myself. And I think in 2026, I'd like to have that return to me where I am focusing on just my health, my energy, so that I'm able to be there for the demands that are placed upon me, some obligations with my family. So that is kind of my intention. And also to do some surrendering, which, is something that I've been working on. So thank you, Alex, for showing up and for your vulnerability, because just the Course of Miracles and the teaching and the way you teach it, it just resonates with me. So thank you, and wishing us all a wonderful, prosperous 2026.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah,
Thanks.
It already is so. One thing I do want to say, I'm trying, or I'm going to do more surrendering. Surrendering is just surrendering, right? I mean, when we say we're going to try to surrender, we're going to do surrender. Yes. I mean, there is this, it actually creates this little gap that the ego can play with that, and it's actually not surrendering. There's there's one little gap that allows the ego in, but surrender is just surrender, right? I don't need to try to drop something. I just drop it. But in that trying, the ego's oh, there's a lot of room for interpretation of to what extent are you surrendering? To what extent are you going to drop something, right? And then this is a little backdoor for us. And so if we're just this year is about surrendering. I'm surrendering. Okay, awesome. Surrender.
It's
So
done.
it's
Mine is
done.
more, yeah, with my family and my mom and her, yeah. And there's just so many triggers, and yeah. So I'm returning to peace more quickly. But wow, oof, it's been challenging. So yeah. So thank you.
Okay, awesome, beautiful. Christine. You're muted though. We really want to hear what you're saying, but you're muted.
It was so good too.
I'm sure it was.
I
so good.
I really felt to come on and tell you how much having you in my life has really been a blessing. Uh, the time that you pour out into A Course in Miracles means so much to me and has truly changed how I have approached certain things. And so I just really wanted to honor you as we go into a new year and honor all the work that you did this year. You have made an impact on my life, and I know that you've made an impact on a bunch of other people's lives. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for the kind words. And you have made an impact on my life. Connor, Kurt, you guys have been amazing. So thank you for your family and for the support and for, always having beautiful shares.
Yeah, I wish so much that we were coming to Breakthrough. It just is back to back too much for us to travel back out there. Connor's still in recovery of our last trip, so we'll be at the next one.
Okay.
God
sounds
willing.
Good. God willing. Okay. Donna or Ken. Donna. It looks like it's Donna.
Of course, it's me. He doesn't talk. But yesterday we were having a conversation about forgiveness, and I know earlier you were saying about like wanting to be right, but like I'm still struggling with certain people that have passed on, and like how to let that one relationship go. I mean, there's nothing to be right about. It's old news, but I don't know. I'm just stuck in me. So maybe you could share.
Well, let's just say if there's anywhere that you're actually stuck, there's something to be right about, because you're holding on to something that is solid, and you're like, I don't know what to be right about, but I'm still holding on to this thing. Well, you're being right about holding on to something. So there's always something to look at. There's different layers, right? But we haven't been trained. We haven't practiced enough. We didn't have the framework. Oh my God, I almost forgot the word again. You didn't have the framework for understanding this, and this is why, like, actually a huge part of the breakthrough event is going to be this, and everything else like this one will be different from all the other ones that we've done so far. And some people that have gone through the gratitude trainings and the different types of trainings know a little bit of what we're going to talk about. But regardless, your experience in the event will have a lot of things illuminate for you. And it's going to be really beautiful. So forgiveness. Number one, forgiveness. The Course says forgiveness is, I'm going to just read it directly. Forgiveness, whatever. Forgiveness recognizes that what you thought somebody did to you has not happened, has not occurred in the way that you think it happened. That's forgiveness. It's not that something happened and then I condone it or I forgive it. See, that's the way the ego in the world has it. Forgiveness is me recognizing that a contract came up and another contract came up, and these two contracts collided. But what I thought, because what I make up about it is this, and this. So then the Course says, well, you're never upset for the reason that you think. See, we think it's this or it's that. Somebody yelled or, this person disrespected me. We think that's what we're upset with. But really what we're upset with is something else, right? Because we're actually not looking at what the real problem is. We're upset at the symptom, at the surface level of the form of something that happened. We're never really looking at what the core is. The core is that I have this wound. I have this wound that when somebody is loud, it makes me feel this way. I have this wound that when, somebody says something to me, it makes me feel this way. That's my wound, right? Because somebody else might just be like, who gives a shit, right? Because we could be like, wow, that shirt that you're wearing is freaking ugly. And you might lose your shit. Oh my God, how disrespectful. This person is an asshole, all that. And if you say it to me, I'm like, I like my shirt. Whatever. There's two different interpretations happening, right? This is what the Course says, perception. I perceived, because I have a wound, I have a contract that it's tender, right? At some point, somebody said something to me and made me feel this way. I've carried it all the way to adulthood. So anything that resembles that equals that danger, and it's been magnified by countless experiences that all match the same thing. But when we can recognize it, so what we say is, when you can recognize, when you can see something, then you can dissolve it. What you can't see, you cannot heal. What you won't name, you can't heal, right? So this is like about getting super honest with ourselves, like, what's the stuckness about? And if we go deeper and deeper and we recognize that the problem isn't the person, the problem isn't what was said, the problem isn't the situation that happened, the problem is that I got this wound. And if I can bring compassion to it, then what happens is I'm so grateful, because once we give that up, we're like, wow, that felt really free. I am so grateful for this person or this situation to happen and reflect to me where my wound is. You see how we can change, like the whole experience changes to like massive gratitude for showing me where the light can enter me. So first, it's just like, and the Course says, if you even knew, if you could even see that God was with you in this exact exchange of stuff, you would bow to your knees to thank your brothers and sisters. Like the person that hurt you the most and triggered you the most, if you actually knew what was happening, if you could see what was really happening, you would bow on your knees to thank your brother and sister, or sister, right? Whoever that person is, because you're like, oh my God, thank you so much for showing me where I have not had peace. So first, be in the possibility of that. It's like, ooh, that's possible. And your job, so little. Don't figure it out. What's your job? Your job is just have a little willingness. Spirit, I'm willing. Okay? Show me a different way to look at it. I'm willing. Show me. And oftentimes when you ask, it's crazy how the world and the universe and God and Spirit shows up. Recently I was like, show me if I'm smoking too much tobacco. This is what I said. I said, show me if I'm smoking too much. There's a part of me that has a little bit of, I think I'm smoking too much. Just show me. I'm open to seeing it. I don't need to figure it out right now myself. I thought I needed to. I was conflicted for a little bit. I was like, show me. Literally the next day, somebody says to me, hey, we smoked a little tobacco thing, and I was just coughing up a phlegm the whole next day. And I'm just like, and really, I used to smoke a lot, and, I just realized it's not for me. I asked. Boom. Shown right there to me. I'm like, oh, okay. But if I didn't ask, that whole situation would have just been another, oh, great, good for you. So as we ask, this is no accidents of anything. We just don't see. We don't see because we are not asking. We're trying to figure it out ourselves. So my 2026 is that I'm going to, this is real surrender. I'm surrendering to you, Spirit. Show me the way. I'm going to ask constantly to be shown, because I just need, my willingness is to ask, right? So yeah, hopefully that supports.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, big boss Jess.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good. I was sure that on Bluetooth. Wow, what a call. Talk about contrast. This call has been all over the place. And but listen, it was perfect. It was perfect. And I was just recalling like 6-7 years ago when we first started these end of year calls, and you ask everybody what their word was, and your word, first word you ever gave was effortless. And I'm like, effortless. I'm like, I didn't even get that shit. I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't never know of anything, getting anything effortless, you know. I'm like, it's just, it wasn't, I couldn't even wrap my brain around it. It's my word this year. I'm literally stealing it from you. It's my word this year. And the way I plan on getting there is complete surrender to what is. To what is, no expectations, no, just a surrender. Because I've realized that I've put so much effort into my life, into just trying to figure shit out and everything. And the more I do that, the further away I am from the truth, you know, from what I really want, from making me happy. And up until recently, I always thought that, man, you know, and I always made this deal, if I just had this, if I had more money, if I had bigger jobs, this and this, and always making like these deals. If I had this, I have this here. And this year I've proven to myself that it doesn't matter how much money I make, how much money I have. That is not, I mean, we have the saying, given that money doesn't bring you happiness, but it'll get you out of jam. So, you know, it'll get you out of jam, and it will. But I realized that, I mean, being now, like, I'm feeling like that ease where I'm not really worried about my finances right now, being able to afford anything. I'm like, there's nothing I really want. There's nothing that I want. There's nothing that I need. I just want that feeling that I get when I'm on these calls, when I'm feeling that love, when I'm feeling that peace. Like, I have nothing to worry about right now, and that feels so good. It's just better than all the millions that I thought were gonna make me happy, or was gonna make me, you know, get the things that I wanted. I realize right now I don't want anything. I just want this feeling, man. I want it effortless. I want to surrender, and the more that I surrender and I go with the flow and let. And thank you, Nova, you know, for being such an amazing teacher for me. And let my life flow. Things just work out. Things just work out. I don't have to figure shit out, man. Things just happen to work out and line themselves up, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay, and that's what I wish for everybody. You know, is that kind of peace where, you know, I mean, shit, you know, life is gonna keep on lifing at you and throwing curveballs, and shit's gonna fucking come your way in every direction. That's just life. That's just what happens. But how I respond to that, how I let that affect my peace, and that's where the troublesome part comes in. And as long as I don't put any interpretations to shit, you know, that happens to me in there, and give it meaning, because I give it the meaning, and therefore I cause my own drama. You know, the minute I do that. So I'm good. Thank you for the lessons all year long, and I am your forever cuckoo and goopy, and I can't wait to see you next week.
Oh, you're so great.
A bunch of you guys. I'll see you guys next week in Vegas. Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah. You know, thank you so much for that share too. Just, yeah. Really interesting. People are like, oh, well, money's not important. I'm like, yeah, it's not important. It's just up there with oxygen. I love that line. I'm like, yeah, money's not important. It's up there with oxygen. Brooke.
Oh my God, that was an accident. I was trying to clap, not raise my hand.
Oh, well.
But no, I'll just echo what some of them have said. I really appreciate you, Alex. You've helped me in so many ways that I can't even put into words, from the relationship with my dad, from me, you know, controlling the stories that we tell ourselves, our interpretations of things, and thinking people are out to get us, or if they're opportunists, you know, or they're only doing or saying things because of what you can do for them. And I've kind of learned to just make sure I'm in alignment with my short-term goals, long-term goals, and keeping, I think it was you that said this, and I have this on my vision board. I think it was faith, fun, finance, fitness, something like that. And I'm like, you know what? That's badass. And anything that is not, oh, right here it is: finance, faith, family, fitness, fun. And so anything that's not in alignment with that, make sure I say no, and don't feel bad saying no about it. But yeah. I am truly grateful for you. From the first, and we didn't even meet through A Course in Miracles. It was through real estate and Grant Cardone and all these 50 different mentorships, right?
Blessings to Grant Cardone.
I know, like, you know, and so I'm just super grateful for you. That's all.
Thank you. Yeah, beautiful share. Oh, we got time for probably one more share here. If anybody wants to share anything as we wrap up 2025. Michelle.
Hi, thank you for the call today and all the acceleration and information and codes and wisdom. So grateful, and to witness all of it is just such a blessing. I want to take a minute and thank, in 2025, I came into it with the intention to work with the Holy Spirit, to partner with the Holy Spirit. And it's been amazing, an amazing partnership. I have felt my mind be more sound. I have been at the gym exercising. I've lost 28 pounds.
Whoa.
I have been feeling my body. It's not even about the weight for me, it's more about feeling my body because I lived so many years in disassociation. And it was like I just disassociated, my spirit left, and then something ran my body just to be in the world. And so now I'm grateful because I felt my presence of my spirit almost the whole year. There were little blippets of times that energy transactions would feel the shifting. I have partnered with God for the new 2026. So, partner with the Holy Spirit, partnered with God, and I'm grateful because I just finished my nonprofit's website, and I appreciate what Brooke was saying about people like using you for what you can do for them. I was dating someone like that. I also had business partners that were just like, how much could I get Michelle to do? And so it's interesting what God has done now is shifting for 2026. And I feel this for all of us. I feel like there's this great rising, and what is it? Rising tides
Raises
lifts
all
all
ships.
boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is we rise together by lifting others. So lifting others helps us to rise. And so this experience of being on this call has been such a blessing. It's been an honor to witness so many of our heart spaces opening up. I want to acknowledge Kaija, I don't think she's on the call. You and your wife, your experience of love in expansion of all directions of what love is. You're gifting us with that. Being seen in that was such a gift. I have spent a lot of my time in the past where I just didn't want to be seen in it at all. So I just would disappear. And so you've just inspired me so much, and I feel so thankful. And I pray that our families will be more abundant and our consciousness will be more clear and sound, and that our finances will grow. The Deuteronomy 8:18 is the verse from the Bible that talks about our ability to gain wealth through God. So thank you for this call. It's a gift to be on it. And thank you all for letting me see you and seeing me. Lots of love.
Thank you so much. Well, this is a good way for us to conclude here in 2025. There is something that we are doing January 1st, and there is going to be a financial contribution to this. It will be $100 or $10 a month. We're going to do the lessons every single day. So you will be sent a recording of me doing the lessons every single day, 365 for 365 days. This is not only, it's one way of me calling in that exchange, and two, to keep myself accountable for doing 365 lessons in 365 days. I have been studying the course for so long, and I have yet to make that happen. So I will post that in the group, and I'll send out a message for it. That will be a collective movement. And the course says if you do nothing, just do the lessons, do the workbook. You don't even need to understand it. You just do them, and your world will change. So final prayer for 2025 and for all of us here is, dear God, we come to the end of 2025. It's not just the end, but it's really the edge of surrender. And we release to you the weight of all the efforts, the weight of all the trying to figure it out, the weight of healing requiring so much work. And we release all of that over to you, and we offer only to you what you ask of us. And that's the little willingness. We ask, we will offer to you just this. And we place this past year in your hands. We place the future into your hands. Please help us reinterpret all the challenges and all the places where we don't have our peace. And teach us to trust. Teach us to release. Teach us to remember. I mean, the closing of this year bring us more trust, more rest, more effortlessness. And so it is. And may all of this just be enough. Amen. Aho. That's it. Happy New Year's, everybody. Love you guys so much. January 1st, lesson 1. I'll see you guys.
Love you, Alex.
Thank you,
Bye,
Alex.
everybody.
Hey,
Love
Alex, are
Yeah.
you going to continue Sunday for those of us that won't do the whole year?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. This is going on forever.
Thank
I
you.
ain't
Take
stopping
care.
this. All
You are
right.
amazing. Love
I
you.
love
Love you guys. Bye, everybody.
Pono.
Opono. Later, everyone.